B coordinator with the Office of Management and Budget. I will be your moderator this evening. David Clodfelter, the county's interim budget director, will be providing information about the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget development process. After the presentation, we will be opening up the meeting for you to ask questions and provide your input. We will do our best to answer all of your questions today. If we cannot, then your question will be forwarded to the appropriate county staff for a response. We will use the contact information that you provided when you registered to respond back to you. We have staff taking notes, and this meeting is being recorded to assist us with documenting the priorities stated by you, our residents. We will begin the presentation now. David?
Hello, my name is David Clodfelter, and I am the Interim Budget Director from Miami-Dade County. Thank you for attending this public budget meeting. Today I will be taking you through the county's budget process, how the budget is developed, and the timeline associated with this process. Some of the topics that I will cover today are results-oriented governing, the budget development process, budget development timeline, the county's current year budget, the adopted budget book, and the countywide civic engagement initiative, Thrive 305. Now, before we dive into the county's budget, I think it is important to describe how the county is managed. Budgeting is only part of how the county delivers services. As we develop our budget, we need to know what services are important to residents and check to see if we are delivering what we said we would. So to make it all work, we use what we call a results-oriented government framework. The framework has three major components to it. First, we conduct strategic planning. This is a detailed process that helps us identify what is most important to our residents and visitors. It's long-term and gives us the overall direction in service areas such as transportation, human services, libraries and parks, public safety, and many more. Second, every year, departments prepare their business plans and budgets. These show how they support the priorities in the strategic plan and help make sure that we are all focused on delivering services in demand to our residents. Third, we all monitor our performance in an ongoing manner. This helps identify needed adjustments. We need to make sure we are delivering on our promises. And over time, as new challenges arise and priorities emerge, they become incorporated into future strategic planning efforts. The county strategic plan is a high-level document that lays out our service delivery priorities as defined by our customers, Miami-Dade County's residents. It is what helps us achieve our mission of delivering excellent public services that address our community's needs and enhance our quality of life now and in the future. It contains nearly 70 far-reaching goals and objectives that address priority needs across several different service areas, what we call strategic areas. Currently, the strategic areas are transportation and mobility, economic development, health and society, recreation and culture, neighborhood and infrastructure, public safety, and general government. We organize our budget books and other documents using these strategic areas. To give you a sense of what is in the plan, here are some sample strategic plan objectives. Provide reliable, accessible, and affordable transit service. Ensure an inclusive and diverse workforce. Promote livable and beautiful neighborhoods. And provide world-class airport and seaport facilities. Some of the departments that make up the major service areas are as follows: Transportation and mobility includes our transportation and public works departments. Economic development includes our airport and seaport. Health and society includes public housing and homeless trust. Recreation and culture includes parks, libraries, and cultural affairs. Neighborhood and infrastructure includes water and sewer, solid waste, and animal services. Public safety includes police, fire, and corrections. General government includes supporting departments such as elections, information technology, finance, and the Inspector General. For more information, please visit miamidade.gov/strategic plan. When we begin to prepare the budget, the first thing we look at is how the current year's revenues are materializing and how the department's spending patterns are to estimate how much revenue will be left at the end of the year. We then estimate what our revenues will be in the next year and what our current service level will cost. Based on the revenues available, we make recommendations as to what adjustments, if required, would need to occur so that we have a balanced budget to present to the Board of County Commissioners. Through this process, we ensure that the budget being developed is in alignment with the county strategic plan. This year, we are reaching out earlier to ensure we hear from our residents as we formulate our next year's budget. The process timeline. As I previously mentioned, the budget process begins with estimating the revenues and expenditures for the next year. Starting in January, the departments begin to formulate their respective budgets, which are due in March. Also in March, the mayor provides her budget priorities to the community. After the mayor's address, our office continues to work with the departments, going through their budget submissions and finalizing the request. In July, the mayor will release her proposed budget. Also in July, the Board of County Commissioners will adopt the maximum millage rates for the county. The board cannot adopt a higher millage rate than what was set in July. In August, the property appraiser provides notices to all property owners on what their tax bill will be if the board adopts the maximum millage rate. In addition, the county schedules additional community meetings to discuss the proposed budget. In September, the Board of County Commissioners hold 2 budget hearings, both of which are public hearings. The board adopts the budget at the final meeting in September. The new budget takes effect October 1st. Out of every dollar the county receives, this is how it is directed to services. Public safety receives 31 cents. Neighborhood and infrastructure receives 21 cents. Economic development receives 14. Health and society receives 11 cents. Recreation and culture receives 8 cents. Transportation and mobility receives 7 cents. General government receives 7 cents, and policy and or administration receives 1. As noted earlier, of the departments that make up these major service areas are as follows. Transportation and mobility include our Transportation and Public Works Department. Economic development includes our airport and seaport. Health and society includes public housing and the homeless trust. Recreation and culture includes parks, libraries, and cultural affairs. Neighborhood and infrastructure include water and sewer, solid waste, and animal services. Public safety includes police, fire, and corrections. General government includes supporting departments such as elections, information technology, finance, and the Inspector General. The county's total budget is $9 billion. Over 1/3 is restricted to capital expenses and cannot be used for operating programs and or services. Operating funds pay for day-to-day activities and capital funds paid for multi-year projects such as construction of facilities and/or public improvements. Of the $5.7 billion operating budget, over half is restricted to self-supporting business enterprise services, which we call proprietary. Proprietary activities are fee-based activities which are collected separately from the user of the service. Some of our proprietary departments consist of water and sewer, solid waste, aviation, and seaport. The revenues that these departments generate are restricted for use within those departments. For example, we cannot use water and sewer revenues to pay for parts. The remaining $2.7 billion is tax supported. Tax supported refers to activities paid by taxes regardless of a person's use of the service, such as park and police services. Tax supported operations include the following jurisdictions. Countywide represents $1.722 billion, consisting of $1.438 billion in property taxes and $284 million in other revenues. The unincorporated area represents $514 million, consisting of $160 million in property taxes and $354 million in other revenues. The fire district represents $418 million, and the library district represents $79 million. As noted earlier, of the $9 billion total budget, $2.240 billion is supported by the general fund. The general fund is what we refer to as the accounting fund supported by ad valorem property taxes, license and permits, service charges, and other general revenues to provide countywide and unincorporated area operating services. Out of the services funded through the general fund, a majority are mandated by either federal, state, or local laws and agreements, or fund vital services to our community, such as police services, elections, medical examiner, etc. As noted in the pie chart, of the $2.2 billion in general fund expenses, approximately $2 billion is considered less flexible funding. These include services such as police and fire, debt service payments, payments to the county that the county must make to fund court services, funding the county's Jackson Hospital, funding our transportation system, etc. The more flexible funding consists of services that are not mandated by state or federal government or required by contract or agreements, such as park services, funding community-based organizations, general government services such as human resources, etc. It is not to say that these services provided with the more flexible funding are not necessary or important. They provide important support roles to county departments and/or vital community organizations. The county's capital budget for fiscal year 2021 totals $3.335 billion and includes 496 capital programs countywide. A majority of these projects require years of planning and construction, while others may be completed in a shorter time frame. The slides provide a breakdown of our capital program by strategic area. Examples of some capital programs include our public safety strategic area includes projects to construct new fire rescue stations. Police department projects include various infrastructure improvements at the Miami-Dade Public Safety Training Institute, where our officers train. The Transportation and Mobility Strategic Area includes projects for our Transit and Public Works Department to develop park and ride stations to expand transit connectivity for residents throughout Miami-Dade County, and road resurfacing, bridge rehabilitation, and drainage improvements, and other projects that are included in the SMART plan. The Recreation and Culture Strategic Area includes projects for the library system to construct new libraries such as Hialeah Gardens Library and the renovation of existing libraries. Projects in the Park and Recreation and Open Spaces Department includes ADA improvements to access parks, refurbishment of park facilities, and the development of various greenways and trails to improve connectivity throughout Miami-Dade County. The Neighborhood and Infrastructure Strategic Area includes projects for our Water and Sewer Department that updates the water and sewer infrastructure for today and the future. In the Health and Society Strategic Area, the Homeless Trust is constructing a second domestic violence shelter. The Economic Strategic Area includes projects for more connectivity to the port. The Regulatory and Economic Resources RER Department projects include Biscayne Bay restoration and shoreline stabilization to restore, enhance, and stabilize wetlands, shorelines, and islands adjacent to Biscayne Bay, as well as the purchase of endangered lands for conservation. And last but not least, the General Government Strategic Area includes projects for the Information Technology Department to purchase computer-aided dispatch systems that will replace the existing computer-aided dispatch for both fire and police. Projects in the Internal Services Department includes the construction of a new North-Dade Government Center to provide more access to government services to residents in the north section of the county. Each year we publish our budget books that include the adopted budget. The books are also organized in the major service areas with departmental details. Within each service area, the departments have narratives that describe the services they provide, along with the revenue sources, expenses, personnel counts, and performance measures. Additionally, the budget ordinances approved by the board in September are also included. To jumpstart the budget process this year, the county is interested in hearing more from you. In conjunction with the Miami Foundation, Mayor Levine Cava has launched Thrive 305 this month. Thrive 305 is a countywide civic engagement initiative that will leverage Miami-Dade's biggest asset, its residents, through a survey and series of virtual workshops to inform the administration's action plan. This is a bottom-up, community-driven policy framework that will center on an equitable recovery and laying the groundwork for a thriving community. Thrive 305 activities include a countywide resident survey that is now open through the end of the day on Friday, February 26. This survey seeks input on a wide array of services, and your participation is encouraged. During the month of March, the initiative will host civic weekends, which will be town hall style virtual events to discuss the survey data and recommend ideas for the action plan. Then in April, Thrive 305 initiative will hold action plan workshops for community leaders and policy experts to collaborate with county staff to develop recommendations for the action plan. For more information about the Thrive 305 initiative and to participate in the survey, please visit miamidade.gov/Thrive 305. Thank you for attending this workshop. Please visit our website at www.miamidade.gov/budget. For more information on our budget, now I will turn the meeting over to the moderator that will take your questions and/or hear your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, David. We'll begin the questions and answers and commentary session now. Please note to ensure that everyone participating gets an equal amount of time to state their request or question. We have to limit each speaker's time to 1 minute. We appreciate your understanding and cooperation with this request. Once called upon, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. For those that are attending the meeting on the Zoom call, please raise your hand if you would like to speak. We're going to go in order. And if you are on your phone, you can hit *9 to raise your hand. And once called upon, you can either unmute your phone through your smartphone, or you can use *6 to unmute your phone. Okay, can we please, Victor Dover, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. Victor Dover.
I am here. Thanks very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. My name is Victor Dover. I'm a resident of the county at 6227 Southwest 57th Street. I'm town planner and an urban designer, so I think about cities a lot. I'm also a proud member of the board of the Parks Foundation in Miami-Dade. And I just want to say a thank you to the mayor and the commission for their support of parks, keeping the parks a high priority in our county budget. Everybody wins as we invest in our parks. The return on the investment is really huge. The parks support the quality of life that makes us competitive economically, supports the health and personal development of our kids, our seniors, and everybody in between. And the pandemic's been a really great illustration of this. Our parks have been a literal lifeline, physical place where public health is happening, food distribution, testing, vaccines, and for a lot of people, the only outdoor space that's safe. So I just want to thank the mayor and the Board of County Commissioners for continuing to support the park system and keep it a key component of our shared public health strategy.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to, on behalf of Mayor Cava, Mayor Levine Cava, and the Office of Management Budget, taking time out of your day to take an interest in the local government, and we agree and we appreciate your comments on the record. Next, Laquette Paget, please unmute your microphone. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Laquette Paget. My address is 20730 Southwest 119 Court, Miami 433-177, District 9.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, so I apologize. I sort of got cut off yesterday, and I was talking about there were no clear pathway of resources to the Black community, especially in District 9. My other concern was that with all of the Zooms and the meetings, Zoom meetings, and all of the resources and information that's out there, the community leaders are unreachable. I've attempted to reach the mayor, the commissioner in my area. For a while, I get no response from anyone. So I'm just curious to know, what is the chain of command, and how do we reach these leaders who are supposed or have our best interests at heart? And will there be startup resources for small businesses to start a business?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, we do for the small businesses. We do have the CBO process that does have funding in this year's budget and next year's budget as well. And to take into account your comments and questions on reaching out to community leaders, we'll get the appropriate county staff to provide you with that information ASAP, as soon as possible, and we'll give you a breakdown on what the chain of command looks like and how you can get better access to the resources that you need and you're asking for. Larry Fields, can you please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record?
Hi there, this is Larry Fields. I'm at 441 Northeast 145th Street, Miami, Florida. Thanks for holding this today. I'm the executive director and artistic director at Fantasy Theater Factory at the beautiful Sandrell Rivers Theater right here in Miami's Liberty City, but I'm here today speaking on my own behalf. And I just want to stress the importance of the arts and culture in our community and fully funding the Department of Cultural Affairs. I know I have limited time, so I just want to, I know we have some new commissioners on our board, and we've always had a really a great board of commissioners when it comes to the arts. And I want to make sure that I just stress a couple of things. The arts in our community, as of the last big survey, generate about $1.5 billion of revenue in Miami-Dade County. In terms of the jobs that are generated, it's over 40,000 jobs in our community. And for every dollar of county funding that goes into the arts, that brings 39 more dollars into the community. So I know I'm just about over time, but I really want to stress the importance to our economy and to our quality of.
Sorry, sir, you were cut off due to the 1 minute constraint. We appreciate your comments for the record, and the Department of Cultural Affairs budget definitely will be taken into consideration now with the budget submission now in March, and we'll be reviewing that with the mayor and our current administration to include them for funding. And we appreciate your comments and your participation today. Loren Para. Please unmute your microphone. Loren Para.
Good afternoon. Hi, how are you? My name is Lauren Para. I'm a resident of Miami-Dade County at 311 Romano Ave, 33134. I am the Director of Public Affairs at the Miami Foundation, but I'm here as a resident and speaking on behalf of the Parks Foundation as its newest board member. Just echoing some of the sentiments we heard previously around thanking the mayor, this administration, and the BOCC for consistently supporting parks and open spaces, but just reiterating their importance, especially as we as a community look to recover from this COVID pandemic. Parks and open spaces are not just a passive resource where folks can clear their mind and work towards their mental health, but have also served as a really active resource for folks as vaccine sites, as food distribution sites, and just continue to be a crucial component of our shared recovery. And so just a continued thanks for this administration's support of parks and open spaces within Miami-Dade County.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on the new appointment. We appreciate your kind words for our parks operations and parks department, who are renowned in what they do. And we definitely will take them in consideration now when developing the budget. So thank you very much for your comments. I have next here Jacqueline Murcia. Jacqueline Murcia, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Murcia, and I reside at 14221 Southwest 88th Street, Miami, Florida. I'm a student at the University of Florida studying sustainability and the built environment. And I just want to first say thank you for allowing me to speak today. I am passionate about ensuring that each goal presented discusses sustainability and carbon neutrality by 2030. And the reason for this is because the best climate scientists have stated that we only have 10 years to avoid any irreversible climate effects. So my question is, why are we waiting until 29 years later in the year 2050 to only reduce 80% of our carbon emissions? I truly believe that we need to provide more funding towards renewable energy, such as solar panels and solar farms, to be able to achieve the goal of net carbon emissions by 2030.
Great, thank you so much for your comments on climate change and resilience. I'd like to state that we do have the Office of Resilience that works closely with our county departments in ensuring that resilience is integrated within county planning and operations. That definitely be something that will be taken into account now with the budget development process for fiscal year 21-22. And we have your comments in your record, comments on the record now, and we'll take them into consideration. Thank you so much. Next, we have Eric Offengand. Eric Offengand, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Yes, hi. My name is Eric. I'm with 350 South Florida, local climate action group. I live at 1555 Cleveland Road on Miami-Dade, and have seen firsthand, just the impacts of climate change and the sea levels coming dangerously close to inundating the entire neighborhood. I too actually would like to echo the previous caller and ask that we see a much more aggressive stance on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. I was looking at your climate action plan, and it calls for a 10%, a 10% reduction every 5 years, starting in 2010. And I'm just wondering if that's actually been achieved, because I can't find any information about that. But also, that we need to make sure that we have the budgetary requirements to make sure that we do achieve greenhouse gas reductions in a much more aggressive way before we have completely lost our home.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. For the record, we will get back to you. I do not know that off the top of my head if we achieve that goal, but we can definitely have your information on the through the registration process, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible with that information. And we will be taking into account resilience and sustainability and climate change into the future proposed budget. So thank you for your comments, sir. Next, we have Gloria Christian. Gloria Christian, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Gloria Christian. I am the president of the Miami Oratory Society, which is a cultural group, of course. We do concerts like 3 times for the year. We bring it to mostly the people in Miami. We have concerts at church, classical music, which we want, or we invite young people and old people who are interested in this kind of music to attend, and whomever wants to learn and to continue their musical ability in their college, we are open for them to join the group, where our director teaches music, sight reading and stuff like that, to help those people, whether young or old, those who are interested, to participate without cost. And there are students in college who want to have or get.
Sorry, Miss, you were cut off with the 1 minute, with the 1 minute limit. We'll take thank you so much for taking an interest in your local government. And we do have your comments on the record, and we will be taking those into consideration for the upcoming proposed budget. Thank you. I have next Renee Cambridge. Renee Cambridge, please state your name and please unmute and state your name and address for the record. Renee Cambridge.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Renee Cambridge, and I am the pastor and CEO of Glory Temple Ministries at 7950 Northwest 22nd Avenue in Miami. We've been feeding Miami for over 20 years in the same location. Our area has been designated a food desert by the Department of Agriculture. Pandemic has brought with it increased need for food among our residents. We are struggling to keep up with the needs. Currently, we serve 700 families a week through walk-up, drive-through, and door delivery. Our pantry never closed amid the pandemic. How can we get some assistance from the county to ensure that pantries like Glory Temples are not only able to supply necessary food, but also have financial assistance to meet the demand?
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. And thank you for what you and your organization are doing for the county. We will take your comments into consideration and get back to you regarding the funding request, but we appreciate everything. Next, we have Claudia Iscableseta. Yes, I'm sorry, I butchered your last name, so sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you. Hi, good evening. This is the first time I'm attending a meeting, which I find very interesting. I'm a student at Florida International, and I'm actually working on a project right now that has to do with domestic violence. And I just wanted to see if you can rewind what you mentioned something about they're building a shelter for domestic violence earlier in the budget. Can you just tell me what was the department that is doing that?
The department that has the capital project that the domestic violence shelter that's budgeted is the Homeless Trust.
Okay, Homeless Trust.
And that project is listed in the Homeless Trust budgeted narrative. I can't tell you the page off the top of my head, but we can easily send that to you based on the information you signed up with.
Yes, and we'll definitely get back to you with that page. It can be found in the budget book. I believe it is on volume 3 of our budget book. So we will get back to you with that information. Next, we have Bay Lizette Gary. Bay Lizette Gary. Hello? Please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay, we'll come back to Bay Lizette. Next, we have Elizabeth Blake. Elizabeth Blake, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. Elizabeth Blake?
Sorry, could you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Hi, my name's Elizabeth Blake. I'm stated at 380 Southwest 4th Street, and I am speaking on behalf of Lotus House. I just want to say, as a young person, Lotus House has helped me to the right path of success. They had provided me with many assistances and services which I would never found by myself. Also, they helped me prepare myself for my SAT and ACT exams. They also provided me with support groups and many other helps that I wouldn't have gotten in other shelters. I also got therapy, which helped me for my mental health being, and they helped me out, and they still care about me even though I moved out. So I just want to say, since the pandemic has started, they have housed each night over more than 500 women and children. And they have provided countless of thousands of meals for the community and for the people in the shelter also. And the type of support provided at Lotus House isn't provided in many other shelters, and it's an absolute necessity. And Lotus House needs more funding.
Thank you very much for your comments, ma'am. We appreciate it. And we do take into consideration Lotus House and the great things that they're doing over there. And we will definitely, keep have your records, your comments on the record, and consider their funding for the upcoming proposed budget. Next up, we have Imes Patterson. Please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, this is Romel. Can you hear me?
Oh, Romel, thank you very much. Yes, we can.
Yeah, I think you unmuted the wrong person. I got a notification here, so can I speak now, or should I wait until?
Yes, we can. Yes, we'll come back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I am Romel Arelian Marines. I am located at 441 Northeast 145th Street, Miami, Florida, 33161, and I am here to show my support for the Department of Cultural Affairs and to ask for to fully fund the department, and if possible, to please increase the funding for this year's budget. And I also would like to ask you to see if the commissioners and the mayor are hearing these budget meetings. And I would also just would like to point out that I think that we should not cut the people that are speaking. I don't think that is so respectful. We have to let them finish their idea. In person meeting, you would not do that. Just a note.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your comments. We'll take them in consideration for the upcoming budget and including them in, with the 2021-2022 proposed budget. We appreciate you taking into an interest in your local government this evening. Next up, we have Dave Daniels. Dave Daniels, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. Dave Daniels? Okay, we can come back to Dave. Victor Dover? Victor Dover.
I spoke already, so I think that you covered me. Thanks.
Got it, thank you. Sorry about that. Jaime Valdez? Jaime Valdez?
Hi, my name is Jaime Valdez, and I live at 1500 Northeast Miami Place. I just wanted to start by saying that I really appreciate that these meetings are happening. It's a fantastic way to get plugged into my local government. And I just wanted to sort of raise the question of affordable housing and its place in the budget. I think that we see that housing prices are soaring. And especially in recent months, I've seen article after article about the rising cost of housing in Miami, which is great for wealthy folks who are coming in, but the question of affordable housing and access to housing for folks who aren't making those kinds of salaries stands. So I was hoping maybe you could speak a little bit to that.
Yes, affordable housing will definitely be considered in the upcoming proposed budget. We recently had $7 million from our carryover from fiscal year 1920 that we added to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Now that amount, I believe, is around $19 million, and we have over $200 million in other federal funding and funding opportunities for affordable housing. David, I think David would like to chime in on that as well.
Yes, I just wanted to also mention that there's also legislation on the next BCC agenda that the Public Housing and Community Development Department is taking, that is attempting to make the affordable housing program a little more flexible, along with this funding to be able to use that funding for its purpose. So thank you.
Thank you, David. Next up, we have Nicole Ramos. Nicole Ramos, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hi there. My name is Nicholas Ramos, and I'm a born and raised resident of Miami-Dade. I live at 8343 Southwest 107th Avenue, Apartment G in District 9, 33173. I'd like to leave a public comment and suggestion around our budget allocation to public safety as well as health and society. As we've seen in the news, police budgets are under high scrutiny following several high-profile cases. Our police have an abundance of responsibility thrust upon them, and sometimes they're tasked with duties that they haven't been properly trained to handle. And this can often lead to tragedy when folks who need the assistance of mental health professionals are instead confronted with police ill-equipped to manage their crises. And so for my public comment, I'd like to implore the county to reallocate a portion of the public safety budget into health and society, specifically for mobilizing mental health professionals to respond to these emergencies. This will alleviate the burden on our police and better allow us to respond to our citizens in a safe and humane way. Thank you again for the opportunity to share my thoughts.
Thank you, Nicholas, and we appreciate your comments, and they are on the record, and we will take them into consideration with the budget development now coming up in March. So thank you again. I have raised hands here. Please, again, if you'd like to speak, raise your hand so we can call on you if you have not been called upon yet. I'm going to come back to Bay Lizette Gary. Bay Lizette Gary. Please unmute your microphone.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you guys for responding. My name is Baye. I'm calling from Bell Harbor Beach, 9484 Harding Avenue, Surfside, 33151, and I am the owner of Baye Art Boutique Productions. I am actually a native Miami and here, and I'm a renowned artist from Italy, Miami, New York, and also South Carolina. So my concern, of course, is connecting the international tourists and also the locals together and bringing a unified community. As we hear when we travel, and as I've traveled, I've lived abroad for 6 years in Italy, and I performed tremendously, and of course represented my city. And now I'm here stationed, and I have a shop and also a lot of things that's upcoming. But my point is that I would like to create, with assistance with you guys, mini parks. A project that would actually connect the people together and bring peace and unity, especially after the pandemic that we've had. And of course, other things, bus stops, reparations and other things with sidewalks, and just adding more art to the environment where people can see. For example, as we have in Wynwood, it's refreshing, and there's just an abundance of beautiful energy. And I think that Miami deserves to have a lot more than just that, and specifically Miami Beach.
Thank you, Bae. We appreciate your comments and taking an interest. We do have your information on record, and we will get you in contact with some appropriate county staff to give you some more information on the different operations and different services we have in regarding to artistry and cultural fairs and things that I know you mentioned, bus stops in there as well. So we appreciate you, and we'll get back to you so you can provide more information. Stephen Green, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Stephen Green, 25920 Southwest 193rd Avenue in the Redland area, 33031. I'm an elected member of Community Council 14. And as David Clodfelter was describing the delivery of services, it seemed he was living in a different county, maybe even a different world than those of us who live in the Redland. One of the reasons for that is that community councils are mandated by ordinance to give feedback to the county on priorities for areas such as public works, public safety, lighting, and so on. But we are no longer able to do that because the budget eliminated our ability to meet on those matters and has restricted our meetings to acting only as a zoning appeals board. So my request is that our ability to meet, to give the feedback needed is important. As an example, a lack of services, potholes in this area. When we call about them, we say that we can't get to them because there's only 2 people working on them in the whole area. Code enforcement, they say they can't get to it because there's far too many violations. They don't have an...
Sir, sorry about that. You were cut off. We will have your information on the record, sir, and we will get back to you, see how you can, we can take your comments more. And also, you mentioned potholes. We can get you in proper, the direct contact with the Department of Transportation and Public Works and see if we can get some of those issues resolved within your area. So we appreciate you taking an interest today. Next up, I have one last hand raised, and I only have a name, Jen. Jen? I don't have a last name here. Jen, if you can please unmute your microphone. State your name and address for the record. Jen?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jen Shaver. I am a local historian. The address is 3001 Northwest 46th Street in Miami, Florida, 33142. I am calling on behalf of the Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery in the city of Miami, but in the neighborhood of Brownsville. This is a historic Black cemetery that I am looking to do a historic preservation project on. There are a lot of notable burials that are important to Miami's Black history. I believe that these names not only need to be celebrated, but also protected. One of the first initiatives that I would like to take on in this project, and I would like to work with the government in doing so, is the creation of a perimeter wall in order to keep out the excessive grave theft that's been happening there over the last decade. There are people breaking into the cemetery, taking bones out of there. It needs to be protected. This is a historic Black graveyard started in the 1920s by some of our most prominent Black figures in Miami's history. I would like to speak to anybody who might be able to help me begin this historic preservation project, and I look forward to meeting.
Sorry, you got cut off, Jen. But yes, we will definitely we'll get you the information, the direct contact that you can speak to on your request regarding the Lincoln Memorial Cemetery, and we will get back to you as soon as possible with that information. Next, I have Norma
Uriostegui.
Thank you so much. Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Norma Uriostegui. I live at 12071 Southwest 1st Street, Miami, Florida, 33184. I just had a question as far as like a couple questions. If there is like a more fully fleshed out timeline or process for this budget that we could have access to sort of stay, to be able to fully participate in all these meetings. And also wondering if after this process of like input from residents of Miami-Dade, if ultimately the Board of County Commissioners has full autonomy over their discretionary funds. And I guess I'm coming from a place of a little bit jaded after, you know, I'm a community organizer and we organized a lot of folks for the budget meetings last year and we felt completely disregarded. So I'm just wondering, like, ultimately, how much is this being taken into consideration?
Well, thank you, Norma, for reaching out to us today and being a participant in today and this evening's meeting. Yes, this is something new from Mayor Levine Cava and the current administration on what they wanted to do. They wanted to bring in the residents beforehand, before the budget submissions are reviewed now in March, and to take the residents' comments and concerns and requests into consideration. So this is something new that we're bringing the community in beforehand, before we start looking into this, so we can take everything into consideration. And we have the budget submission process now in early March. The departments and the Office of Management and Budget, we work with the departments in going through the budgets and with the administration. And then sometime in July, we will propose the budget and then have our August meetings that we typically have. So we are having a little bit more inclusion than we did and on the front end this time. So this, and along with the Thrive 305 survey and the workshops and town hall meetings coming up now in March and April, definitely will have more inclusion with the community part of the budget process. Yvette Bascumbe, please unmute your microphone. State your name and address for the record. Yvette Bascumbe. Okay, we'll come back to Yvette. Carla Neufeld. Please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Carla Neufeld, 6851 Sunset Drive, South Miami. And I have to say I didn't come prepared to say anything, but I feel it's important to applaud and reinforce a comment of a young man earlier, it sounded young to me anyway, about transferring funds from, not transferring, but rearranging enforcement funds to better serve mental health care. And I mean, the budget for mental health care can't be large enough. Anything that we spend preventively, as we do in our key clubhouse of South Florida, saves taxpayers millions of dollars in lack of jails, not having to use jails and emergency rooms to take care of mental illness. Hence, very important that funding gets moved towards mental health care in Miami and homelessness.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you having the courage to speak. And you know, this just shows that this is working. This is an inclusion process, and we have more residents voicing their requests and concerns. So we appreciate you. Mental health definitely will be taken into consideration, and we appreciate your comments and concerns. Jesse Wooden, please state your name and address for the record. Jesse? Okay, Jesse, we can come back to you. Next up, we have Leroy Jones. Leroy Jones, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening,
My name
sir.
is Leroy Jones. The address is 5120 Northwest 24th Avenue. First, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And so I'm going to be brief. I just want the county to consider increasing the allotment to the mom and pop small business grant program. It has been around in county government since 1999. The funds have increased significantly, but it has stayed steady for the last 4 years. But I would ask that the mayor and the Board of County Commission, because that program served the micro mom and pops, small businesses that was not able to get the same opportunity as bigger companies with the PPP, I would ask that this government consider increasing the amount per county commission district of the mom and pop small business grant program.
Thank you, sir. We will take that into consideration. Thank you for your comments, and they are on the record, and we'll take them into consideration for the mom and pop program for their funding in the fiscal year 21-22 proposed budget. Thank you. I have no other hands raised. We have two individuals we'll come back to that weren't able to speak. Yvette Bascumbe, also please raise your hand if you would like to speak, if you have not spoken. Yvette Bascumbe. Hello, Yvette. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello. Hi, this is Rolando Bascom, 3475 Mystic Point, Aventura, 33180. The reason I'm calling is that, or speaking, is to point out that everyone has spoken about flooding caused by sea rise, but also there's an issue of infrastructure and drains that are usually very clogged up, and you have flooding with any bit of rain that occurs. So are there any actions to make sure these drains are clean and any infrastructure that would be done to ensure that we don't have flooding at the slightest bit of rain?
Sir, I do not have information off the top of my head on what projects we have regarding the flooding, especially in that area. I can put you in contact, and we have your information. We can put you in contact with the appropriate county staff that can provide you with information on what projects we have for storm drains and flooding in Miami-Dade County. So we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Bernardo Favole, please unmute your microphone.
Hello?
State your name and address for the record.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, hi.
Hi. So Bernardo Favoli, 253 Northeast 101st Street, Miami Shores, 33138. I too wanted to emphasize and give a thumbs up to Nicholas and Carla for their concerns there regarding mental health and reallocating some funds. But I was also a little taken back that only 7% or 7 cents of every dollar you're collecting is going to transportation and public works. You know, I listen to a lot of BCC meetings. I do public involvement for a firm that does infrastructure projects throughout the county, and so I'm pretty in tune. And I hear how much transportation and trains and buses and Metro Rail are important, and I find it quite odd that only 7 cents is going towards that, towards those departments, and I just would think that maybe we can do a little better. So that's really all I wanted to say. I wasn't really prepared to.
Thank you, Bernardo. We appreciate you. We have your comments on the record, and we will take them into consideration, and the transit and public works funding into consideration the upcoming budget development process. Thank you. We have some more hands raised. We have Liv Orta.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, Liv Orta calling from 23300 Southwest 112th Street, 33032. I'm also an epidemiologist, and my question is, have you worked closely with public health professionals to ensure that the budget accounts for the times we're living in, specifically related, of course, to the pandemic and equity issues related to that? Thank you.
I do, we can get back to you, ma'am. Thank you. We have your information on the record. I don't know off the top of my head. I know David would like to speak. David?
Ma'am, we are working with public health officials. We now have a chief medical officer through the county hospital, Jackson Hospital. So that is providing incredible feedback and dictating on how we deal with our pandemic issues as we move forward. But thank you for your comments, and we will take note of that and also continue providing feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Roberta Fliss, Roberta, please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, thank you. Yes, this is Roberta Barrett Fliss, and I'm at 426 Navarre Avenue, and the zip code is 33134. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in this chat, and I just really want to thank the county for the continued support of culture and arts. During this time of COVID and all the challenges that we've faced across the country, I've always been so proud that our county is such a huge funder of the arts, and the arts are a huge economic engine. In this community, it's been supported statistically by Americans for the Arts, and I just hope that the commissioners, the mayor, can find in their hearts to continue to support this in our community, because we should be so proud with what we have here in our hometown, and thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments and the kind words on our arts programs here in the county. We have Jesse Wooden. Jesse Wooden, please unmute your microphone. State your name and address for the record.
Yes, could you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, my name is Jesse Wooden. I reside at 8205 Northwest 12th Place, Miami, Florida. I'm the current owner of Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery. I'm here with Ms. Igny Pickney. We will be speaking on that issue.
I want the county to support the Lincoln Memorial Cemetery because so many of the pioneer African Americans are buried there, and it has historic designation, and it has gone through a horrible life experience, and it's just time for us to take pride in our heritage and in our history, and to appreciate those persons who made it possible for us to be here. We're standing on their shoulders, and we don't act as if we appreciate what they've done for us. So I'm asking that Lincoln be a part of the budget so that we can do a better job of showing our respect for ourselves and our history. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, ma'am. We appreciate your comments. We will take your comments into consideration for the preservation and historic preservation of that cemetery. So thank you very much. We'll definitely take it into consideration. We have one last individual that we called upon before, Dave Daniels. Dave Daniels. Please unmute your microphone and state your name and address for the record. Dave Daniels. Okay, Dave. So we do have, if you weren't able to make today's meeting, or if you want to pass on the information to family and friends, we have one last meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. that residents can register for, to listen to our presentation and to put your comments and concerns on the comments and questions and concerns on the record. Again, thank you very much. We appreciate everyone taking their time out of their evening to take an interest in your local government. Please, if you have any additional questions, please visit our budget website at miamidade.gov/budget and click on Contact Us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we get that. Again, I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of Mayor Levine Cava and the Office of Management and Budget. Thank you so much and have a good evening.